Alright, everybody, welcome to the channel, or welcome to the Minecraft special. It is I, Xilestar, and today I kind of wanted to show off the sort of building process that I've had since the beta of the game, all the way up until the current one. So all the way up until, as of recording this, 1.17. Well, it's actually point 0.1, but I don't want to upgrade just yet because I still want to play on my server, of course. So I kind of wanted to show off sort of how I sort of built during the old days and all the way up until now. So let's go and take a look. So I have some select worlds here that I've created since, well, since the beta, which will be in this world, and then you'll see like the different versions between it. Mostly we're going to be looking at sort of one construction in general, because I'm still technically using it. I'm going to show its current version though last because it is in this world, not in any of these. So let's start off with the pre. So these were during beta. So I'm going to show it off. Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. Okay. So, well, that's kind of weird. I thought I changed this to... Nope, not adventure. Spectator. There we go. So this was what the construction was during beta 1. Like up until I think it was beta 1.8, I think, is when the whole sort of hunger system was put in. So this was pretty much my base for 1.13 to about all the way up until I think like Minecraft 1.0 pretty much. So yeah, so the whole thing for this was that like I was trying to like I had an old world that was barely giving me any coal, so I decided to create a new world. And then after that one was actually giving me coal, I decided to go and end up keeping the world. So I ended up building this construction slowly going up until I think beta 1.5, I believe. Was it 1.5 or 1.6? I don't remember. One of them came out with weather. Now, I was like, oh, weather, that's kind of cool, That actually gives the game some, character depth. Or the game some, like, some actual, like, things. But one thing that it didn't account for was when they were talking about thunderstorms, well, it could burn, wood. And I had this wood, glass, wool sort of mishmash everywhere. So I kind of had to go through and kind of put stone all around it, so though anytime lightning would strike, it would strike it. And I kind of made this makeshift lightning rod, kind of to give it some, some detail, because iron bars weren't out yet, so it's not like you can make a realistic one with that. And then when when Minecraft 1.1 came out, I kind of just went into different worlds, doing different builds. So I can kind of go around on this one. So I decided to make a bridge from my house to a mountain, and that's what this is for. This was, I don't know what I was thinking. I kind of just went with random design, so I thought that this would be kind of cool for the top. And then I went with jack-o'-lanterns in here because I thought it would look kind of cool. Back during the beta, lighting worked differently, so you had to put torches pretty much almost everywhere. So that's why you'll see like a bunch of torches in here. And I kind of had, yeah, you can see how the beta kind of worked here too. So raw pork chops didn't stack, so they occupied one slot in the in any inventory. Where's the one that I? Here we go. So pretty much, this would be considered the food chest. Like this is how bad it was. Chickens didn't drop food. They only dropped feathers and eggs at certain times, and so did sheep. They dropped wool, and there was another one that I'm not remembering. Cows only dropped leather. So pretty much the only way of getting food was either this or farms, and this was before I even thought of making any farms. I just decided to just kill pigs because now passive mobs don't spawn naturally or as much as they did before. So pretty much, you could literally just go outside, kill a bunch of pigs, go in, and then the next day they'll be back, kind of thing. And something else that I realized over here when I was trying to move it into this world, you can't put pressure plates on top of chests anymore. So I kind of had to use the fill command for this, but still, I'm actually kind of surprised because back during beta you could actually do this. It didn't do anything, but I kind of wanted to, kind of hide it, which kind of looks cool. And then over here we have sort of the sleeping quarters. I don't know why I did this. I think I expected multiplayer to be a thing, or at least like a co-op kind of thing. So I kind of did this. And then down here is more the smelting area, I think, because I have like two of these. I think, yeah, like two of these. Was this a secret? No, these weren't secrets. Yeah, this was just because it was built really awkwardly with the hills. So I kind of just, and this was back when I was just, you know what? I'll torch it and then leave it alone. And yeah, and over here we have this weird redstone thing. I kind of wanted to see how redstone worked, so I kind of did a redstone torch with stuff here. It's really weird. And then over here, actually, this can pretty much show you exactly how the lighting used to work too. Because you'd have this really weird bright stuff here, then it goes really, really dark, and then it goes dark. Yeah, so here's the sleeping quarters, I guess. Another sleeping quarters, and then a little bit of a relaxation room over here. Different building styles, and this was before enchanting, and even brewing even came out too, so you couldn't even make potions, so this was pretty much like the normal for building in this game. And after that, a friend of mine wanted to make like a turn most of our creations into like an airship kind of idea. So I said, you know what? I kind of want to see how this will work because I found this world and I went, oh, I could build it back. So what I ended up doing was I ended up doing just that, and created this. Oh, here's Amulet at work now with the lighting glitches. So I'm gonna change the time to day. Times a day. There we go. So here it is. So it's very bad, I know, because I kind of tried to. Yeah, so here's where the bridge was. That you'll clearly. It's easy to tell. So I kind of just wanted to give it a giant laser in the front very badly, but you know what? For like 1.1 kind of thing, it wasn't that bad for me considering that this was beta. So it was kind of fun to end up recreating it, not block by block, but just recreating it into a different sort of like spectacle. And then after that, I just kind of just went like crazy in here, and I gave Throne. So you'll probably notice that there's no windows. Pretty much, it's supposed to be that there's a block here, like an observer kind of thing, so you can actually see the front, and the captain can see with a little bit of like a computer thing over here where they can go like, okay, turn left, and then like the crew would turn left kind of thing. Yeah, and then you'll actually have an enchanting table here, some secrets. They're supposed to be behind paintings, but I guess Amulet didn't copy them. Kind of sad that it didn't copy them. And then over here is more crew quarters. I guess some blocks didn't get transferred over. Weird. And a small enchanting room that doesn't go up to 30, and another one over here. This was back when I liked everything to be particularly like linear. So if this side has an enchanting table, let's say right here, this one had the exact same thing. And even the torch placements you can tell too. And this was back when I think lighting was still had a weird issue. So I had to kind of do it this way. And then I think that's pretty much everything for this. Yeah, because after this I kind of just gave up. Then when Minecraft 1. Well, actually this was pre Minecraft 1.13. For No, this was beginning 1.13. That's right. Yeah. So when 1.13 first came out, I wanted a structure, And because they made using structure blocks to save our structures much easier, or at least more user friendly kind of thing, I thought, you know what? We could do something with this. So before Circuitcraft ever became a thing with us, oh, this is more of a newer build. It still gets the same point across. Because I don't keep the actual old copies, that's right. So me and a friend made a sort of bet that because we created a world called Revacraft, which was what this construction is right here, and this was the very first one after that sort of uh, like pre new Minecraft kind of thing. And when I created this, I kind of just went inside, destroyed everything, recreated it from different sort of styles, which looks a lot better than what it looked before or previously. So, and then when you go inside, it actually looks a lot better. Now, it's gonna look really weird. Although this one, I have no idea why it has these lighting errors. This didn't get emulated, but I'm pretty sure something else did. But anyway, you'll notice that this room from... No, that's right, I never recorded that part, yeah. So, and then when Minecraft... so when Minecraft 1.13 was almost near its end cycle, we ended up moving this over to a server, and then that's where the birth of Circuitcraft ended up happening. Oh, there's that 1.13 thing where they didn't like beds. Yeah, this was structure blocked back in to a 1.13 world. Yeah, so here's another thing, water. I tried to make water so that like it didn't flow out like this, but you could still interact with it. I think iron bars you could, but I think they changed it now. And then here's where the storage room is, and then here's where the structure block to save the structure is. And here's a bunch of redstone torches for the redstone lamps. There's the enchanting area. And there's a little secret room under here where this sign directs you down. And I kind of did this. And then this is kind of also the new system where you'll notice it nowadays where I have a sign that brings you to secret rooms or something along those lines. And if you click on one of these signs right over here, it brings you to one of these little side rooms over here. Now this, I remember, is very, very old, and it kept sort of changing over and over again. And yeah, so I think this one still has one of those retro signs. No, is this the one that has the retro sign? Yeah, this has the retro sign. Okay. And when we were still playing on the 1.13 server, I found a mountain on the 1.13 world. I think I showed it off too, where I kind of wanted to make a base out of it. So this is what actually came out of it. I thought it looked kind of cool. I think it's because I didn't really finish it, or I didn't really put my plan into motion like too quickly kind of thing. So I kind of just gave up on it. But I actually kind of like the look of it. I think I could have just I think I just need to like add more details kind of thing to it. So yeah, so this is pretty much what the inside looked like for the main floor. Looks kind of cool. And then over here is a structure block that's supposed to pretty much make that go here so it can like refuel or restock in food and all that such stuff. And then you'd have the giant storage area over here. This is where the player would sleep. And then this is where you'd save the base, of course. And then if you go downstairs, you go into a giant room. This is the map area. This is the ender chest. This is the enchanting area. This is the brewing area. And then this was like, I forgot what this was for specifically. I actually do forget it. What was this for? Oh, I think I was trying to create an end portal area, but I kind of just stopped. And this was where the nether portal was going to be, but I kind of just, again, as I said, I kind of stopped building in here because I kind of just didn't want to anymore. And then I kind of just left it alone. And then over here is each and every type of farm, so as you go from the top and work your way down, you'll notice that the farm starts getting considerably smaller. And then the last one is nether wart, of course. And how you're supposed to get in here is through a elevator system that's supposed to bring you from top to bottom. And this was just so that I can get from top to bottom. And after this whole thing sort of ended up being a flop, or at least to me it was, I ended up wanting to go and end up creating it into sort of a ship. So I kind of just merged this style with that style, and I ended up creating this bad boy over here. Now, this is actually kind of different because I actually made a version of this that was actually one structure block length, and it literally hit the length cap. But I don't have that one anymore because I got rid of it faster than I actually ended up saving it. So this is pretty much what this one was. So this is how you would summon in the other versions, or the like Revacraft right here kind of thing. And then over here is the smelting area, and then over here this is the, yeah, you'll kind of notice though that some of these constructions, like I think starting Revacraft, I stopped doing the symmetrical idea, or the sort of like if one room has it, the other room has it. And over here you'll notice that there's the map room, there's the nether portal. There was going to be a sign similar to how Voracle had it, so you can right click it and then you would have a portal, but this one would have like the nether portal sort of occupy both slots, and then you'd right click and then you'd have the end portal doing the same exact thing, but it would only be for one block and all that. And here's the alchemy area, the enchanting area, and then this was going to be, I think, the bedroom. Yeah. So imagine if this actually became the new one. That'd be kind of cool. And then over here is where the giant farm is, and this was going to be where the secret area was supposed to be. But again, this kind of got abandoned real quick because I didn't want to build something too big like this, because every time we loaded a new world, it's easier to load in one that is one structure block length than it is for one that is 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever. Even though the rules only allow you for up to 2, you can still make one that has 4, just that it won't be moved over. That's the whole thing. Let's see here. Which one was the newer one? I can tell. Actually, I can tell by the storage room. This one, okay. So when I was having fun with this, Revacraft and trying to build different base styles, I took the base of this one and I plopped in the storage room for this. So I think I took a piece of it. I forget how far I went exactly, but I ended up converting all of this into this, of course. Oh yeah, this was back when I think we were doing little random factions between like the 3 of us, and I had a sign specific so I can create the team and recruit. So this is pretty much the random loot one. This probably won't have anything because I had a habit of emptying it every version. Yeah, before every version, this would probably be it too. But this would be the arrow ones. Yep. And then with this one, I think, nope, 1.14 still had that bed issue. Either that or Amulet has that issue for some reason. I don't think this one I used Amulet though, but just in case I did. Yeah, this one, yeah, so Revacraft, and I think up until 1.14, I believe, I had paintings in certain areas. I can't remember which ones are which, but like I had them there, here, and here as well. You can tell the painting is here, but it's actually moved by 1 block because it's supposed to be here, because this is where the ender chest is. The reason why I'm not showing too much of anything else, like not structure blocks, but like the command blocks, is because they're in the current building or the current structure, so I'm just going to show it off there of what they actually do. So here's the enchanting room. This one doesn't have a back area. Yeah, this one doesn't have a back area. And over here, since I have much more room to work with, I kind of just did my linear thing here, and here's how you save the structure. But this one was saved under a different way, though. And here's where the storage room is, and then here's where I think you teleport to the surface. Or no, you teleport to the farm, sorry. One of these is oh, it's probably one of the things up there. And this one tells you to a secret room that has like different items that I had. And then I think, yeah, then these ones are storage rooms. Yep. One of these should be the everything. No, this is it. Yeah, so this has everything in the game up until like 1 point, like this is 1.13, yeah, so up until 1.13. And then later on, I kind of wanted to change the style of this because there was a lot of like useless blocks at the outside of the frame. So I kind of just ended up doing this design, which nowadays I would literally just not keep it anymore. But I'm keeping it as a piece of history. So this one had very few changes into it. Notably, this is now 2 blocks instead of 3. This kind of makes it more room so that you can end up doing something cool up here, maybe, or something like that. Up here, there's nothing really too like different about this. Did I have shulker boxes there actually on this version? Give me a second. Yeah, I did. Okay, so these shulker boxes were called locker boxes, I believe. Yeah, and they were pretty much just, if I didn't feel like sorting it like right away, I would throw it in the locker box and just go, okay, I'll deal with it tomorrow. And that's pretty much what that was. And then the farm didn't change, except for I think it got smaller. But this area didn't change at all. And that's pretty much it. I kind of got into, so back during when Revocraft had its own sort of world, and I was doing random things with it. That's where most of these banners came in. Something really cool about these banners is that I had a world where it was in 1.4, or it was in one of the pre-releases for 1.14, and you can literally, and when you attack a pillager, of course, you know the normal drop. You get the banner sometimes, you get the bad omen. But what was really cool was that you could actually bring those banners into 1.13. And they were like this. I don't know if there's actually a difference, but you could. I did it. It's actually kind of interesting. I was like, this might not even work. It might just crash my game. And then it worked. I'm like, oh, what? And I plopped it here. It actually kept the name, too. I think it was called... It had a weird, like, a Minecraft : banner _ ominous or something like that. And it was, like, kind of weird. It had a weird name. And yeah, then I don't know what that's from. That's kind of weird. But, like, every other sort of thing here was sort of my design. I kind of made it. And then up until, I think around here, you'll kind of notice that, like, they're more intricate and... Well, not this one. These ones I didn't create. I found a website that had, like, not pre-built ones, but people would throw them on the website for, like a gallery kind of thing, and that. This was a banner I created a long time ago, back when banners first came out, and I was experimenting with them. You can tell that they're just bad, but I was just trying to learn how they worked. And since they were a piece of history to me, I kind of wanted to keep it. So that one's a part of it too, I think. Yeah, this room didn't have it until later on. And I think I kind of just kept on trying to add more to it. I think this is now the more current-ish version of it. So you'll see that there's different ones here. Yeah. So when 1.14 came out, I went with Revocraft, of course. But I kind of got sick and tired of using Revocraft. So one day while I was with Revocraft... Oh, there's the painting again. I did overhaul the storage? Okay, so I did overhaul the storage to barrels. I kind of forgot about that. And then I went, you know what? I'm actually kind of tired of using the same ship over and over again. Oh, yeah, no, 1.14 they fixed it. Yeah, I was on the 1.13 world, that's right. And then I sort of just went crazy with barrels. I kind of went crazy with barrels over here too. Yeah, so barrels over here as well. I didn't change the barrels. I like the shulker idea. If shulkers like couldn't open with torches, I would have gotten rid of them for barrels. But I kind of wanted to keep again some kind of history of this structure, so I kind of did that. There was nothing really too much else over here. And then over here, I changed it to barrels. This had the everything barrel. Yeah, this had everything barrel. And so did the other side too. So that's pretty much where most of the sizes come from these. And I'll actually tell you guys how big the new one is. Yeah, and there's a command block behind here that teleports you to the surface, and this one gave you a celebratory firework. I'll actually show it off too, because I like the design of it. That's the alchemy area. Yeah, so that's pretty much this in a nutshell. What is this? Okay, that's kind of weird. And so what I ended up doing later on is I think this is the revamp of it. Yeah, this is the revamp of it, but this is in the 1.14 style. So I changed it. No, sorry, I didn't do this one yet. I changed RevaCraft first into this creation, which I called RazaCraft at this point, because a new style, pretty much it had a new look. I decided to give it a new name. So with this came a whole cool ideas that I ended up liking a lot. So I ended up going with this. Now, for some reason, creepers and zombies kept spawning in here, even though, well, it's much brighter. It was much brighter before. But I didn't understand why they were spawning in, so I created this cool pillar idea, and it just kind of just stuck with me throughout the most of it. And I think there's... No, this one should still have stuff. No. So I got rid of it then. Nope, this still has it. So there's my traveling elytra, and then here's where all my other stuff is. Yeah. Yeah, the rambunctious inferno blade. Yeah, I don't remember that. And then here's where oh right, this has the old book. Yeah. And then over here teleports you to up here. Yeah, I remember all this stuff. So with the introduction to a new engine design, which was more so what I liked, because this one, because there was there because I usually used netherrack as a way of sort of showing off that there is even some kind of movement coming from the back, I decided to use redstone lamps as an indicator of those. And then later on, I sort of just abandoned that and went straight for the magma blocks, because I thought it would be kind of cool. And then I kind of just perked it out a little bit, and I kind of just wanted to go with this little layer system, so I decided to use stairs here, and you can clearly tell that there's stairs. And then up here, it's just like this, because I thought it would look kind of cool. And it kind of did. It kind of stuck with me up until, I think, 1.15. But again, so I kind of just ended up sticking with this for 1.14 for a while. And then I kept sort of expanding sort of this area as much as possible. And I think the storage room changed a little bit. Yeah, the storage room just had all the alternate crafting methods. And then this one had a coal storage where you can interact from both sides. So you can refuel it here, or you can just take it here or refuel it, kind of thing. And this was back when I think I had a command sign, I think, for sponges, wherever that might be. And I think this might be it. So you can just plop it there, so that way though the next time you interact with this, the water will flow, and it'll touch the sponge, and it'll get rid of the flowing water, but it will not get rid of the source blocks. And then over here is the main storage area. Okay, so this is when I didn't do that. Okay. And then I kind of changed the design of the barrel, so now there's no barrel in the corner here. It's now just these. And I stuck with this kind of design for a little bit later on, up until I wanted to sort of, since I changed this, I thought, you know what? Let's change the base. So I changed the base, so now it doesn't have that weird engine-like back. Like before, I sort of changed it to be like this. The only really thing is the engine, and I don't think I added a back area for it yet. Oh, no, I did. Oh, the lava didn't get transferred over. That's no, the lava couldn't get transferred over. That's right, because it would interact with the stair and it would waterlog it, I think, or something like that, which is weird. Yeah, this had to be stone brick because this was right up against here, so I couldn't really do anything, and I couldn't really change anything over here. So I made the back area more of the stone brick, sort of like dungeon-like design. Yeah, and there was nothing really too much else here. Mostly just go here and you go up here. Yeah, so how you're supposed to get in here is that there's a sign, or there's two signs here. Go to this one or this one, and it teleports you in here. Or this one will teleport you to, I think it's like over here, I think. And the one that's up here will teleport you to the room. And I think that's how it worked. And then I think, yeah, this was before that. So, and then the farm, I kind of just stopped kind of growing it, or keeping it grown each and every time. Then there's a bunch of barrels in here. Nothing really too much else to say about this. This was way before I decided to go with more of an interesting design of actually building these. So after that sort of whole fiasco, 1.14 came around, and I went, you know what? I want to stick with my normal build. Oh no, when 1.15 came out, I wanted to stick with Razacraft. So I decided to go with the normal Razacraft, as you will clearly see. I think this one has more different versions than anything. Oh no, this one doesn't have any, because they're probably all on 1.16. So this one right here was the one that I carried out through the very beginning, up until I decided to give, because of a friend of ours, a friend of my friend and mine, or a friend of his kind of thing, complimented on the new engine design because it looks a lot more like a spaceship kind of thing. But he said that but if I wanted the base to kind of do it, I needed to keep this sort of same engine design, just either bigger or just make it make the base much more nicer. So I decided to copy this, but kind of paste it into the back here. I actually did it by hand. I didn't actually use like MC Editor or anything like that, or Amulet or Structure Block. I kind of just went and free-handed kind of like this, and I went, okay, so this is kind of how it is. It's 2 blocks here and then stone brick stairs up top. So this actually got, I think, a couple blocks taller than the normal bases. And the inside kind of got this little design here, which I started using stairs and slabs because I thought it would look kind of cool to give a place like this, at the very least, some depth, better than just using planks. So I went across and did a bunch of stairs as well into the top area and slabs, and then over in here, nothing really too much has changed. I think I added a bell. I think that's pretty much everything. And I think I have some secrets up here, which are just barrels. And then in these rooms, nothing really did change. I think around 1.13 for the base, I implemented these doors. No, the original doors weren't like sort of like a block that's like, there's no, how do you get in here kind of deal. They were barriers, so it's indestructible to be able to get in kind of thing. And then I changed it to sort of just be flush with the wall kind of thing. And you'll notice though that it doesn't really look like a ship. It mostly just looks like a mess kind of thing. Don't worry, I think I put it in 1.16 because I think that's when I actually did change it. And I think there's a room back here, which was more so my sort of, oh right, this is when I looted old worlds and I put them in there. Yeah, I'm gonna change that system on my own time. And then if you go down here, this is the new area. Is this the version where I started actually putting different color palettes? I know one base, I started changing color palettes to add these log ideas in here. And some of them actually have a command block right behind them, which I thought was kind of cool because you can put like a log here, a button, and then a banner on top, and it would kind of hide it, which I thought was kind of cool. And then over here we have the brewing area and then storage, and then I condensed the farm area even more kind of thing. And then we have this area and this area. I think this area got shrunk by 1 block, I think. I could be wrong. And then over here is sort of the command module. Now this one is sort of a unique thing that was a part of Razacraft. So above here, Razacraft has a few command blocks that I'll actually show off, because I sort of changed them later on. I'm not used to this menu. There we go. So these have command blocks in them. This one gives everything but the player glowing. So that was very interesting for raids. I had this one to give myself Bad Omen because this aircraft was close to a village, as you saw during the 1.14 sort of showcase of Circuitcraft on one of the early 1.16 episodes, which I still need to rename. I showed off that like I had my ship, like this ship over there, and literally if you right click here, get to like I think the very edge block here, you could trigger a raid. And then what I would do is I would go here, and this one would kill everything but certain entities kind of things, just so you don't get flooded with your inventory. Mostly just killed raid enemies, zombies, creepers, and all that such stuff. And then over here you would teleport all of the drops to you, so you can actually just teleport them to you, and then you can go, okay, so now, and I would have like a temporary shulker box layout over here just so I can store stuff, and that's pretty much how that happened. That's pretty much what this area was for. But instead I didn't have to go anywhere. I would just go scan, make sure that they're actually spawned in, raid, teleport, scan again, kill, then all that. So yeah, because this was back when I ended up having that book. Do I still have it somewhere? Do I not have it deployed anywhere? Probably not. I don't have it deployed anywhere. But the book that I had over here that originally had a kill mobs thing, something that I want to mention about this book is that when you have a command in here, it's almost very difficult to remove it. So what I ended up doing was I ended up creating a new book that was exactly identical to this one, just it removed the kill mobs command from it. And another thing is that the book commands are not a command block, it's what you can type in here. So if you can type in times set 0 kind of thing, you can literally do that with this. You can really do that with the book. And then that's pretty much what this beginning area is. And then behind here, I've been trying to avoid it, but I keep going through it. This area got a huge overhaul with 1.15, where I ended up wanting more color. So I think I made certain areas in here smaller, but I made it like much more like beautiful kind of thing. And when they introduced the whole crawling mechanic, I absolutely loved that idea, and I wanted to create a crawl space. So what I did over here is there's actually a couple entrance. No, this was before I did that entrance. Okay. So I made an entrance here, but I think that's during the 1.16 version of this. So you can actually go through here, and you can actually go into all of these barrels. Yeah, this is before I did that cool floor design too. Is this before I did this one? No. So I also did it here too. I think this, actually, does this one have it? Yes, I found a version with it. Yes. Okay, so I wanted those command signs back, but I didn't think I had an old one that had it. Thank you. Now I know which one it is. So yeah, that's pretty much this for the most part. There's not really too much else. We created the whole, like I created this whole thing. Like I kept changing its design over and all. And then during 1.16, of course, since this is all the 1.15 stuff, during the 1.16 whole fiasco, a bunch of changes happened. At least from in my perspective, like a bunch of, oh, that sort of spoiled it. But that's fine. So let's see. Which one is the original? This one is. So this one was the original. So this is kind of before I ended. Oh yeah, that's because I actually have to when I have to spawn these big ones in, I have to use this structure block, change it from save to load, and then since the doors are always closed, I have to kind of break it open. This is before I change to spectator. So this one, nothing really too much has changed. It's pretty much the same as before, except for I think the crawl space got an upgrade, and it was more of an exterior changes, and I have it so you can interact with it here as well. But this one was more of an exterior change because I wanted to make it more boat like, and I tried different ideas to make it boat like, but they just never really did work. I literally tried the whole stairway of going down and then sort of just shimmying your way kind of over to the center area, but that never really did work for me. So I ended up going with this design, which actually looks a lot like actually looks really really good, just not in this sort of time. So I ended up going with this sort of design, which was actually very very cool in my opinion. Then later on, I ended up changing. I ended up removing the point, and I changed the top area to sort of fit the whole rest of the theme. So now I ended up getting this bad boy over here. I ended up shrinking this by 1 block because you're more so going to use your elytra to kind of get in. So this kind of made sense. This is this right actually? I don't know, but this was pretty much done off camera, pretty much. So I kept trying to change and evolve the design. I think back here I kind of had to get rid of the bridge that led to both rooms because this area kind of got shrunk down by 1. I tried to condense this as much as possible. It didn't really work out in the end. So then after this, I kind of stopped doing it. Actually, this place got an upgrade, but all of the other areas sort of just kind of faltered. And oh yeah, by the way, I moved Voracle over here because I wanted to show something off about Voracle. So this is pretty much where we ended 1.16 off. So the final episode, this is what happened. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to try to see if I could make it sort of black and white a little bit in every block idea. It didn't really work out. That's why Voracle never really did change. So that's just a little bit of that there. So after this one became not really what I wanted, I kind of wanted to put a little. Oh yeah, so something about the top area too. I wanted to have a little bit of Razzacraft in there. So I kind of looked at how I did Razzacraft's sort of redstone lamp design. So I thought this would be kind of cool, and it did, but I don't think I kept it. Yeah, I never kept it. Then after this one sort of didn't. I took a look at all of the old sort of builds kind of thing. I took a look at all of the old Reva bases and Raza bases and this, and I decided to go, you know what? I kind of liked one of the old designs. I think I could probably find it real quick. Was it the 1.13 one? Let's see. See if we can find it real quick. I found, yeah, this one. So I kind of liked this idea where there was like a block sticking out. Obviously not on the same, obviously I would like it on the same level, but this one, it kind of had to work like this. So I went, you know what if I incorporated it, but this time had a structure that I really wanted it to work with. So I decided to do this, which kind of just reminded me of just having my ship look like an arrow, which I kind of liked. Until I think later on when I decided to go and change the idea a little bit, where I kind of wanted to. Oh yeah, I was able to extend the farm too, but I kind of didn't like the idea of it looking like an arrow anymore. And this was, oh yeah, this was supposed to be something, but I never really did anything with it. Yeah, then, yeah, because I wanted to do something really cool with this area, but it never really did pan out. So I ended up changing my idea again, and this time I ended up creating this. Now there's two different versions of this. I think one was an older one, and I might have changed a little bit of the newer ones. That's why I have both of them here, and I'll go through them briefly. So pretty much, I ended up changing the design to have this sort of cool. I think I remembered a spaceship from a game that had a design close to this, and I thought that would be kind of cool to kind of do it again, or that I could kind of do it and it would kind of work here, which it kind of did, but it changed a lot of what was inside of this as well. So the front area, so the top area was pretty much not changed at all. Yeah, this area was not changed at all. Except for I kind of put the blood of the sun here, or bots as it is, the the bots banner here, and then I kind of changed this room a little bit because I needed a little more space in here. Did I change it in the arrow? Let's see here. Did I change it in the arrow as well? No. So that's one. That's one definite change from the arrow to that one. Wait, where am I? Oh, I went one closer again. Then I added a potted plant here, of course, and then I think in here, nothing really changed. Like, nothing really changed from the arrow. I added a lodestone here, because the last one was underneath in the crawl space area. I think it was, like, right around here-ish kind of thing. And I decided to change it so that it's more accessible, so I decided to add it here. And I think behind here is the teleport to surface command block. And then I think there's nothing really too much else here. Yeah, 1.14 or like pre 1.14, I think, or even after 1.15, I stopped putting back the paintings and get rid of them, and just started putting in banners instead, just to kind of add that color instead. Yeah, and I added that. Yeah, I'm not really seeing too much of anything else that's different. Like, I'm sorry if I'm all over the place, but I'm just trying to remember it all, too. Yeah, okay. And then I think the crawl space got an upgrade, where I think I moved, I think, some things from Voracle, and I kind of just put them over here, because I think it would have worked. And over here, this back area kind of got a redesign as it got smaller, so I kind of had to do that. Oh yeah, this was the new control room, because the front area didn't have it, and the back area kind of had a little bit of room like this. So this sign actually does do what that command block did, and this one actually does do the killing. Just the only thing is that if I want to change it so it kills a different mob, or it doesn't have to kill another mob, I actually have to go through the command and add it in now, which is fine. And that's pretty much this one. Did this one have a change? Or was it an engine thing? No, it wasn't an engine thing. I know at one point I changed the engine. Oh no, this one had more details. Yeah. So I found a world that had a bunch of these cool little, like, knickknacks. You'll notice that a few of them were in, I think, one of the older builds. Yeah, this one. And I think this candle idea too. And then there's this potted plant over here as well. Back during 1.14, I was looking at other worlds that had cool redstone creations, or that had cool command block ideas for me, and one of them actually is stuck, and I'll show you through the newer build. But it had these kind of cool computer things, and it had a cool thing here, where this is actually supposed to be where the captain can look at through the observer block that should be here. Oh, this was before. Oh, this is because I couldn't find a place for it. Yeah. Unless, did I do my other idea where I put it on the very bottom? No. Okay. Yeah, and I think that's the only change. Is I just added decoration, and there's also a new sort of system over here. This one actually was from the build over here. This one I created a side room because I was experimenting with Vein Miner a vein miner data pack where it's pretty much like the tree capitator that we're currently using right now for the trees, but it works for ores. And so I was testing it around with different ore types, and I have one of these to generate the different ores in a good cluster. And I was only testing it, and that's pretty much what these side rooms are for. The only way you can access it is if you go and right click on the sign over here, and you can go there. Yes, I think that's pretty much all of this stuff. And then I think after I designed this one right here, I kind of just ended up getting stuck with something where I was like, there's something missing. And I took a look at this and I went, why is it that I feel like there is something that I am missing with how I liked to play Minecraft? So I decided to go and end up changing my whole idea. So what 1.17's original construction was supposed to be was taking what made Voracle and taking, I don't even remember its name anymore. I know what I'm naming it now. I ended up changing it entirely to this. So I ended up taking the arrow one and changing it very slightly, very slightly, going all the way down to where the other one is, and sort of just. Actually, I think what I did is I took the one that had that little like club thing, and I just changed the top one to be the arrow, and I kind of just changed the arrow idea for it. So yeah, so I kind of just converted these side areas to kind of fit these wheel ideas, and I did the whole little cool wheel axle thing, which kind of looks cool. But then I kind of just got sick and tired of kind of just making it work because it didn't really look cool at all. Plus, I also wanted it so that way though it could still go on the water kind of thing. I kind of just put into my kind of like headcanon that these wheels can actually freeze water, and that's how it worked. But then I kind of just gave up on that. Plus, it was always sort of a pet project of mine to kind of put like a cockpit area. So I kind of like Varkle. So I kept trying to. So on the sidelines, I kept trying to add one in here, kind of thing, like over the wheels, kind of thing, and it never worked because every time I tried to add it, the wheels sort of like in my head canon, the wheels would kind of like hit the glass, kind of thing, would shatter the cockpit. So I kept trying to get it to work, and I kept trying to I kept using amulet. I kept trying to use amulet to kind of bring the Varacle's cockpit in here, and it never really worked. So, and then the axle idea had a, yeah, so the axle actually has like a little mini room over here, which did nothing because I was more so worried about the area over here than anything. So I wouldn't really work on that, and I can show you what I did now. So after this whole thing happened, I went back into the drawing board, and I changed it yet again to what is now going to be in the 1.17 Craft series once the 7th session is done. Oh, okay, so I'm here now. Hooray! So I'll just move this here. So I'll show it off. Amulet strikes again. That's fine. Yeah. So this is pretty much what the new one is going to be. It actually has the cockpit, although it's not really like very good looking kind of thing. Like I wish I could have made a better designed one, but I didn't want it to sort of extend too much out. But I think I could have done at least a little bit of a better job with it. But it's fun. It gets the job done. You can see outside. It's, it's pretty cool. The interior is similar, not exact, to Voracle's, so I think that's kind of cool. And I'll show something off that's actually... Oh, no, I have one that's right. So I'll show you something that's actually kind of cool about this one. So this one actually has a system in here. This is retractive, that's right. So if I click... Oh, I don't remember which one it is. Because I think I kept changing it. This one. No. This one. There you go, okay. So this one actually has a barrier system in place. So I'll show you what I mean. So this one, I kind of got the idea of making my sort of ship sort of indestructible. So I kind of just ended up going with a whole barrier system around it. I went through each and every block, placed each and every one of them, not as a barrier, but as a different block that I knew wasn't inside the structure. And I went in there, and I moved this portion over to another world, changed it to barriers, and I had a giant box surrounding this with TNT, and checked it. And it kept destroying a few of the blocks. And I kind of questioned how that's possible. So it goes with something that I learned in 1.15. So if you create a box like so, and let's say you do this, and you get rid of that block, what a baby bee would do, because of my cool idea of having barriers incorporated into the build, I wanted the barriers on top. Because then if a creeper were to, or if our data pack for creeper explosions didn't properly update to 1.16 and I still wanted my bees, or I still wanted to interact with them, or at least interact with that area, I at least wanted to be able to know that they were safe. But what a baby bee would end up doing is it would kind of, so if the baby bee kind of got stuck in the corner here, what it would do is it would grow up, it would clip through the block and then go out. And once I thought of that, I went, wait, is that the kind of thing that's happening here? So I changed the whole barrier system to glass. And I kind of just ended up filling in all the little portions that might have been the issue. This is the shape that came out of it. And now, if you were to fill out the entire thing with TNT, explode it, nothing would happen. Except for one thing. But I have to go and check that on my own time. Kind of deal. And if I do this, it changes this to barriers. Because there's no point in me doing anything like changing the whole style specifically just for one thing. Yeah, so pretty much you can trap anybody in here and go, oh no, I can't get out. And then you just right click this sign right here. It gives you a little platform. Now, something that's really cool about command signs is that you can throw up to 4 commands, and whichever one is the first one gets used up first. So that's how I was able to do this cool little platform design. And the same happens on the other side too. So if I were to go and click this sign right here, and then do this, the same sort of thing happens here, except for the stairs have to be on the opposite end because this is, of course, heading in this direction rather than heading towards this direction. Oh yeah, I can show off that too. Well, actually, I'm not going to show it off, but I could definitely tell you what it is. And then if we right-click this, we lock it up again. So pretty much, if you're being chased by somebody, or if I get chased by somebody, I could just run up here, right-click this, and then the barrier block, and then they get stuck outside. Then you can laugh at them. Yeah, and then I kind of did these little accents kind of thing. I put a clock up here, and I kind of put... Yeah, I didn't really change this room that much. I think the only thing I might have changed is the... Yeah, I changed all of the barrels to now say vaulted barrel. And that there is actually invisible item frames in these blocks. Or on these blocks, as you'll see. Which I thought was kind of cool. And I changed it so that there would be no chests anymore. I went through this entire thing, changed it all from chests into barrels. And I still can't tell you exactly why I did it, because I don't even know. But I thought it would be kind of a cool idea to kind of change it all into barrels, because I liked barrels. It's so weird not seeing the light. Oh, wait, what? Okay, now that's kind of weird. Oh, is it because... oh, it's because I'm in... Okay, maybe that's... Okay, so it wasn't... Okay, never mind. Yeah, when I changed my settings, I guess it didn't really work that well. So yeah, so like nothing really too much to change here, except for I changed this to sort of be similar to what Voracle has, except for these actually don't do anything. Except for if you click the corner here, you get to the extra fuel. That's pretty much normal. I kind of just put this here just because it adds a little bit more design, and I add this to add more of a visual thing, so you get kind of drawn to it, but it doesn't actually do anything. Yeah, I kind of did this just to kind of give it more more depth, even though it doesn't really do anything. And I changed all this. This actually took the hardest time to actually do, because I actually went through each and every one of these, one of the chests, looked at its inventory for one of them, and then broke it, and then replaced it with a barrel, and then slowly put it back in. All I really did is did this, place it here, and then took the barrel and then did that. That's pretty much all I did for that. Then I think that's pretty much everything over here. I kept some of the signs for some of the stuff. Like this one doesn't have signs, but you can clearly tell by looking at things. These ones, since you don't really need the sign, well, the signs don't really change much of anything. You can just literally just look inside, kind of thing. And then over here, we still have this one, right? Yeah, but I changed the design here, so now it's a little bit harder to kind of move around, but you don't really need to move around. The only time you need to move around is if you need to go from one side to the other, or something along those lines. And then over here has Voracle's Denorum barrel, and then it also has the hacked barrel, which this doesn't mean it's a hacking barrel. This just means that it has every item in the game barrel. And that one is up to date to 1.17. And I kind of brought this structure over to 1.16 Serkacraft for a short time, so I was able to grab all my items from Voracle, and then I kind of just went and abandoned it. What was this? I don't know what that is. But here's our invisible item frames and the invisible glow item frames. And I think that was it. I think that's just my trading barrel, pretty much. Oh yeah, you can't normally get out of there. You actually need you need a jump boost. I think that's the only flaw with that, but that's pretty much it. The other thing is that while off screen, I was doing a lot of farming, and I actually got everything in here to be capped with shulker boxes. I got very, very bored on the server, so I ended up like farming a ton for it. So before, I think I can show it off. I'll show it off later. I ended up farming for at least one shulker box full of everything, and then then I created the whole line after it. Yeah, then I think the front area, yeah, so like, yes, because these don't lead you anywhere anymore. But if you right click this, you'll actually go to the cockpit. I originally had a door here, but I kind of thought that that if somebody were to see it from the outside, they'd go, oh, you can actually go in there. I just got to find a way to get there. So I kind of changed that idea. And it also has a lodestone here, even though it doesn't really matter because I think there's one up there. It doesn't really matter. And over here we have the... No, it's not that one. Is it this one? Ah, the Stick of Justice. I love it. What's this one? Oh, the Black Book. Yeah. That's a Skyrim reference for Black Books. There's another one in here too, right? Or is it this one? Oh, it's that one. Okay. Yeah, so there's a bunch of command blocks in here. Actually, you know what? I'm thinking of actually keeping them for when we go to Serkacraft, or when we are able to move this to Serkacraft, because I think it would be kind of a good reward kind of thing. Yeah, and I did the little trapdoor thing idea over here too. I think I originally had had an item frame there. So we have one. So there's only one problem with this entire structure, and I'm gonna go tell it real quick. It's nothing really too problematic. Like, no, there's not a barrier block that's missing, so that the whole entire thing will crumble beneath anybody's feet. There's nothing like that. The only thing is that if you were to use TNT explosions in here, for some reason, it doesn't absorb the blast enough so that item frames don't get pulled off the walls. So literally, like this one will be plopped off the wall as if the TNT explosion was like right here, which is kind of weird, and I kind of don't like it that way. And I kind of want to try and see if I can end up fixing it because I have a oh, I need this. That's right. I have my whole command block array over here with every command block or any item that needed a command block that was over here kind of thing. And I have my item frame one here. Yeah. So what I probably have to change the facing thing and the whole ID of the item in there. But I think I can probably make it so though like it's indestructible so that we can have the item frame still in here. But the problem is that it's a summon command, which means that it's going to take a little bit to kind of get it to be worked at. Also, these clocks cannot be broken in survival or rotated at all. Watch. I'm trying to rotate it. Watch. Like, I'm rotating this compass, but I cannot rotate this clock. That is what the fixed command does, and I kind of like the idea of that. And I went with more banner designs, too. I kind of wanted to... I always try to hide the command signs with these banners because it kind of hides them pretty well if the block is, of course, the same type. Like, if I were to put a sign... Okay, I know one of them is on a block. It's sort of like it. Maybe not, I don't know. Yeah, then I think... Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. I created this world specifically just to do a showcase like this, but when I keep going back to it, I keep remembering, yeah, it's not in order. And it doesn't have like all of the different Revacrafts and Razacrafts and the bases kind of thing. This is pretty much where I ended up building the alternate versions, but I deleted them. But for some reason, Amulet doesn't reset the shadows for some reason. So I have this mess. And this over here is the everything barrel, or the hacked barrel, pretty much. So pretty much like this has everything from like the different command menu. So you'll see like, I think this is building block. Yeah, so building blocks. So you'll see like building blocks. It goes all the way up until dark oak planks. Oh my god, it works. The only thing that these cannot actually store is within the decoration blocks. You'll notice by the glass panes area. That's redstone. That's it. Okay. I gotta find the glass panes area. Yeah, you'll notice though that it kind of skips a few blocks here. It kind of skips the shulker boxes. That's because you cannot put a shulker inside of a shulker. So these granite blocks actually have a purpose, or they did, now they don't, but I kind of didn't remove them. These granite blocks are actually supposed to do what Voracle can actually do. So I'll show it off with... Actually, I could probably show it off in that world. So we go into 1.16.5. You'll probably know this if you've actually seen it. I think I showed it off because I think that's when I actually was able to get it to work. It is not going to explode that good. So Voracle actually has these command signs that actually spawn in these... They actually spawn a fireball from this exact spot in the center. I think I tried to center as much as possible. and it throws it forward. And I think for some reason it goes up, I think. Yeah, we couldn't really see that. Okay, I thought I could probably be faster than that. Apparently not. So you see, it kind of leans upward first. And since it goes out of frame, it might come back stronger. Or maybe not. Maybe it landed there. I don't know. But that's pretty much what that ended up, like, kind of doing. So, one of my sort of days that I wasn't recording, I was spending time trying to get it to kind of work with what I'm calling now Rosaria base. So I kept trying to go through each and every little like nook and cranny of the design, kind of trying to see if I could end up getting it to work well for me. And I got it to work. Oh, is this an old design? Oh, that's what this was for. Yeah, this was an old design before the cockpit. Okay. That's all that one was. So yeah, so I changed it. So I'll pretty much just show it off through here. Actually, I'll show it off through the other one. Yeah. So pretty much will end up happening... Sorry, I'm changing to making sure how long I've been recording for. So it'll now actually fire from... Of course, it'll fire from where the granite blocks are. So it'll fire from this block, or from this part specifically, to not hit the barrier block. And same idea with this one over here. They both project forward. And same idea with this one as these two as well. So the cool thing about this one, or the cool thing about this firing signs rather than these firing signs, is that because Varco only had one on each side, it can only fire one fireball each. Since this one has technically 4 cannons, and 2 are on the left and 2 are on the right, when you click on the sign that is appropriate to that side, so if you click on the left sign, so this one, and you hit, you'll actually fire from both this pretty much, I think I made them as dispensers, but I think I originally had them as droppers. What it will do is it will fire it forward from both sides at once. So it's like double the trouble. And I did test it with Varacol as well. So I had Varacol like literally up against it. I think it was like somewhere over here. And I literally had Varacol shooting everything it could at it before Varacol ended up exploding itself for some odd reason. It didn't even scratch this thing. At first it did, and I was confused. It originally chunked this area, but that was before I ended up doing this cool corner thing. Because, of course, what I had before, since this one's going to go away, I might as well just do it on this one. Might as well show it off on this one. So because I originally had it like this, what a TNT explosion could do... Actually, I could probably show it off now. Because it acts like a TNT explosion, this is pretty much what it does. Flint and steel areas. Yeah. We'll just get rid of these. See? It breaks through. Even though, technically, the two sides are exactly covered with barriers, it still goes through. Now, if I try and do it on this side, I'm going to use granite, though, as a holding block for it. There we go. Only the granite block broke. Because now, I even tested it with like a little side thing over here to kind of figure out why it was breaking blocks. And this is exactly why. Because of the whole bee situation that I showed off before. Because it still has an opening. It found an opening. I don't know how it found an opening, but it found an opening. And so what it did is it crept through and destroyed, well, very little blocks. But that's through each, but that's like, not just like, you know, this little corner. that's every corner. So that's like all of these little nooks here, and pretty much all of these like sort of hover thrusters that I have here. So that's like every little thing over here as well. So pretty much this entire thing was like some dog kind of like ripped right in it, and just sort of just chewed it and just gave up on it, and it was like so mangled. And I went, okay, so now I got to figure out why is this being like, how is this breaking entirely? And so I thought of the bee situation, so I went, okay, so I'm gonna go try and see if I kind of double up the corner tips areas over here kind of thing, if it worked. And it did, but for some reason I think some of these thrusters, it's fixed now, but some of these thrusters weren't having the same level of protection in certain areas, so I kind of had to work at it kind of thing, and now it's all working fine. So yeah, so in 1.17, when we can actually start using our base, this is going to be it. Something else that is new on this is that if we right click this sign, we get over to the sign, or we can kill anything, and we can scan local entities. So we can show that off. So we can scan it. I think it lasts for 5 seconds, and it scans for everything minus players, because I didn't want it to be apparently on the person as well. And because glowing is kind of hard for the game to kind of hide from the player, so yeah, or at least it was hard enough for me to kind of hide it from people, or at least when I was testing it on myself kind of thing. And then this will kill any hostile mob. So if I were to change this into, let's say, oh yeah, I have to do it through here. Let's go hard for a second. Oh, that's right, yeah, I have to kind of do it this system, that's right, yeah. Okay, really? Really? Well, that's kind of interesting. Okay, we have a pillager, like, scouting party. That's kind of cool. Okay, so if we click this, so if we click scanning local entities, you'll see there's a bunch of slimes here. Oh no! So we do this, they all die. But you might be asking yourself, though, how are you supposed to get the items back? Oh, this is the end crystal one. Okay. Well, I'm glad you asked. First, we gotta go crawl through here, which is where all the cheated items and I think some items from Varkol were. And oh, this was my old Circuit Craft inventory. That was a big throw to the past. This one is my TNT spawning one. This was a bunch of golden stuff. This was farm stuff. Yeah, this was all from that those secret areas kind of thing, where they all sort of accumulated from. And here's the random stuff. There's the deadly things, and here's the other one. That's the treasure maps. That's the arrows again. This is like every block that I was able to get from Varkol, from every material I farmed over there. So when you're done with that, oh, I thought I clicked it. So when you're done killing everything, you'll notice though that there are some slime balls. Maybe there should be slime balls. They should technically drop things. Here we go, there's a banner. It's perfect, it still shows off everything. I think everything sort of just got smaller, I think, instead. What we have to do is we have to go all the way down here. Go over here. Thought I saw a creeper. If you go over here. Oh, that's right, I changed it. Yeah, I didn't really quite think that one through now, did I? Well, there's supposed to be a retrieval system, but I don't... Did I not place it anywhere? That seems kind of weird. I would think I would have placed it somewhere, at least. Okay, well, that's sort of an oversight on mine. That's fine. I can definitely fix that anyway. Yeah, this one gives you pumpkin pie. Yeah, so pretty much is supposed to teleport items to you, but I guess, as I said, I guess I missed that. Which is fine. It's an easy fix anyway. It just gotta... I think it's control click? Wait, you should have it. Yeah, you should have it. Yeah, this one I've been stealing items from. Yeah, you can tell I've pretty much vandalized it. There you go. Perfect. And I can control click it. And if you control middle click this, what it'll do is it'll give you the item and it'll have the plus MBT thing, I think in the lore section. And I can easily just change it up in here. Yeah, slimes are only generating because I can just place it down anywhere and just do this. The thing is that you don't want to keep spamming it. Oh, that's right, this teleports items. I thought it was the kill one. So if I were to, let's say, move this iron trapdoor over here and go, oh man, I forgot my iron trapdoor over there and I dropped it. Thank you. Like, that's pretty much like its whole thing, and that's why I like this sign a lot. It's because it was so useful during 1.14 when I was doing the raid. Yeah, these are spawning down here. Because pretty much you would go and end up spawning in the raid. So here's your bad omen. Then here's your kill thing. So when you get close to a village, it would trigger. I think you had to. I think it was around here maybe. I think I had to crouch or something. Then I could trigger it. I know I didn't have to leave the ship. I kept leaving the ship for some reason. Then as soon as I found out I didn't need to, I went, oh, okay, so I can just do that. And then what's this one? Glowing, yeah. So you can continuously spam here. And it would continuously just keep on doing it. So you can keep on doing that. And you can just right-click this. No, that one's not it, is it? It's this one, right? Then it's this one. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, because you just do this, and you just keep doing this over and over again. And then you just keep doing it over and over again. I kept doing this for the raid. Every time it just spawned in, I just went, okay, just run and then win. And then that was pretty much that time. Back when everything was actually really simple. Back when 1.14 was new and I created basically nothing. So that's the history of the structure. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know it's kind of boring a little bit, but it was fun going back through memory lane, going back to the original. I remember that my favorite base was literally this one. Right here. I think this one right here was my favorite base of all time. Because there was very few block choices you can actually make. And not only that, like, for a person that, like, not barely played Minecraft, but for the fact that there was, like, no tutorials on how to build, like, modern structures or medieval structures or fantasy or anything like that, just going by offhand kind of thing during beta, this actually isn't too bad from what I can tell from like old sort of series that were on YouTube around that time when I was actually playing. A lot of them were bad, but like this one actually had like shape kind of thing. Like I know this one was terrible. Did this have the old stupid... No, I didn't have it. Okay. Yeah, there was an old engine design that looked kind of bad. Yeah, these were how it kept going up, or it kept floating, which was kind of bad, but it's fine. Yeah, so we get from this right here. So I get from that to this. Very different system. I'm actually quite happy with this design. Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed the history of this. I definitely did. I kind of wanted to go back through memory lane of this. I kind of wanted to do something like this, but for circuit craft. But the problem is that, like, I can't really go with the history of the structures because not all of them have been in Craft. Like this one hasn't been in Craft. Most of the other sort of redesigns. So like most of these ones haven't been in Craft, so I can't really show it off. Like the like this Voracle hasn't been in Craft at all, so I can't really go with a history of Craft because then most of these are gone because they weren't even in a version. And I can't really show off the old structures in here because they definitely weren't in Craft. Their newer versions were, but their older versions, like these two, were not. Yeah, so you guys get to see how a beta player kind of thing that started during actually, when did, because I remember the version specifically, because when it first started it was beta 1.2. But what was the, when did it come out? It came out January 13th. I think that is around the time that I played. So January 13th, 2011. Actually, I've been playing Minecraft for a decade. Man, I feel old. But yeah, like I'm actually. Oh, okay. So a long time ago, I didn't actually know about charcoal. That's because they added it in that version. That's why I didn't notice it. But yeah. So pretty much the world in which that I actually created for this version, so this was before the whole sanctuary. Like I call it sanctuary, but the whole sanctuary situation. That world didn't have much have coal, and this was before I even knew about charcoal. So I kind of changed worlds, and I found more coal in the world that this one's from, and I went, okay, I'm gonna keep it. That's pretty much everything. That's pretty much everything for this, for the most part. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. You got to see how old me kind of thought of how to build structures, and you kind of got to see how it has evolved. I keep trying to add little nicks and details kind of thing to things. Like as you saw through Voracle, I think at one point, I think there was no trapdoors, no fences, no stairs on the side or anything like that to kind of add detail. I kind of add that as I went along. And of course, in the interior is definitely, you can tell the difference between it based off of the fact that there's no like hundreds of torches in here, or there's a glowstone literal like sideways T with a bunch of jack-o'-lanterns with torches above. I can't remember exactly why I had to put the torch above, but I had to put torches above, or either I put the torches above there first and then I add jack-o'-lanterns later on, and then I kind of just didn't really care about the torches at that point. But I remember because like torches pretty much only covered like 4 or 5 blocks at that point, so pretty much I kind of just covered it all because I had a bunch of coal too, so I could actually use it too. So yeah, that's pretty much everything. Hope you guys enjoyed the Minecraft special, either after or before this, as this is being done before they're even being uploaded, kind of thing. Will be an Oblivion one to show off the different versions of the Oblivion mod, as that one will also kind of say like there'll be a history of my Minecrafting. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time for some more Minecraft.